Welcome to the Legalpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Sager, founder and CEO of Legalpreneur Inc. As a serial entrepreneur and someone that works exclusively with small business owners legally protecting their business, I'm dedicated to covering common legal issues faced by business owners, providing you with the business knowledge you need to catapult your business's growth and showing you just how some of the world's most elite entrepreneurs have handled these legal and business issues themselves. In true attorney fashion, the information in this episode is not legal advice. This is for informational purposes only, and you should always consult with your attorney before implementing any of the information in the show. Hello there, welcome back to another episode. Today, we are going to be chatting about why you should probably be taking more time off of work and the ins and outs of that. I'm actually going to be going on a mini vacation this week, and I'm going to take the kids to the Great Wolf Lodge in Dallas, or up in Grapevine by Dallas. But before I get into why you need to take more time off, dream bigger, you guys. We are coming out with a very, very big speaker announcement. When I say very, very big, a lot of speakers that we're going to be announcing, and tickets are 50% off. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, the flash sale passed, but you can still get general and VIP at 50% off. So don't miss out on that. You know, the link is there in the show notes. Go get it. You don't need a discount code. It's just 50% off. Don't forget about Dream Bigger, October 5th through the 7th in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, so why you should take more time off. Now that we have Legalpreneur, which is a true legal tech startup, it's a true startup, which there's a difference between a startup and a small business. Because it's now a startup, there are many, many opinions, many different opinions on startups and being a CEO of a startup founder. I'm pretty deep into like startup and VC Twitter, so like follow a lot of people in that industry. And I'm actually going to be bringing on an angel investor that is a professor. I'm going to interview him in Damon DeVito. You'll hear from him in a few weeks. But a big consensus with startup founders, or a big consensus about startup founders and business owners in general, is that you need to hustle, you need to grind. And especially as a startup, I mean, typically the goal is to build to sell. For a lot of small business owners, I think that's sometimes their goal as well. And so it's like you have to work as much as possible to be as successful as quickly as possible. And while I think that is true, burnout is a real thing. You guys, burnout is so real, and you cannot be afraid to take time off. There are days when I call Kayla and I'm like, oh my goodness, I am spinning my wheels today. And it's those days where you feel like you're doing a million little things, but nothing is moving the needle. And so it's like I'm doing so much, but I'm not getting anything done. And that I think when you spin your wheels too much, it leads to burnout. And in order to avoid burnout, we have to take time off. But I'm there. Like I'm not saying I'm burnt out right now, but I've been there where I just keep spinning my wheels because I want this to be so successful. I want this to be great. But sometimes we just have to take a step back. We have to take a step back. Like there's no other option but to take a step back, regroup, and look at it from a different perspective. And that's what I've done some days. I call Kayla, like there are some days where I'm like, oh, I just want to sit here and cry. I don't know like if this is ever going to be a huge success, but I take a step back. You know, usually when that does happen, I'll take the afternoon off and I'll go like for a long walk. That's typically what I'll do. I'll just walk and walk and walk. Sometimes I'll just listen to music or listen to a podcast, or will just walk without listening to anything. And I think that's so important to take a step back and take time off, because we just get so in the thick of it that we're too deep. We are too far deep. And I don't know how really to explain like how being in so close can like affect what you're seeing and doing, but it does. And that is why it's so important to take time off when you're a business owner, when you are a startup founder, when you feel like you may just be spinning your wheels and not really moving the needle. Just take time off. And I'm actually not even really taking time off this weekend when I take my kids. Technically, I'm not going to work Friday, but it's just Friday that I'm taking off. I'm not taking like a week or 2 week long vacation, but even just getting out of your normal routine, because my normal routine would just be to hang around Houston and take the kids out to do this and that and hang out with the kids. But I'm actually going to get out of our routine. We're going to go to Grapevine for the weekend, go to the Great Wolf Lodge, have fun, unwind, relax. I mean, I was going to say relax, but relax as much as I can when you have two little ones. But they're so much fun, and we're going to have so much fun. But seriously, don't forget to take time off, you guys. I know how hard, it really is hard to take time off. And remember that there's more to life than work, more to life than building something. And even though this may be your passion, your purpose, what you're working on, it's okay to take time off. Like, it's okay to go do other things. So avoid burnout, take time off. No matter how hard it is, whether you take the afternoon off, whether you take a whole week off, whether you like take a actual lunch break. Like, that's actually a big one. Whenever I started my law firm, I would work all day long and just find 10 minutes to scarf down some food. Probably for the past year, maybe year and a half. I know for at least the past year, I have scheduled an hour lunch. So from 12 to 1 Central Time, nobody can book anything. There are times that I do book things where it's like, okay, I really need to make this work or that work, and I'll book it during that lunch hour. But very rarely do I do that. And whether I spend that I don't spend it the whole time eating, but I'll take that to unwind, relax. Like, maybe I'll just scroll through TikTok for an hour. Like, I do that a lot. And that's what helps me unwind and just take a break. So whatever helps you just take a step back and take a break, like, do that. Whether that's actually scheduling a lunch break, whether that's, I was going to say, like, getting up an hour earlier. I'm not a big proponent for like, oh, wake up at 4 a.m. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But if it's not my thing. Or if you just want an hour to yourself in the evening, you want to take a weekend off, away, like just a weekend trip. You guys, this past weekend, I was editing my book and I got a hotel. I stayed in a hotel by myself, which now y'all know I'm living with my parents at the moment. And going from being very, very independent and living on your own for years and then living with my parents, and it's only been a few weeks, but I was like, okay, I need to edit my book. I could go to a coffee shop during the day, but I want this relaxation. I just want this peace. So got a hotel for the weekend, edited the book, which is amazing, by the way. I'm so excited. I'm getting very, very excited for this book. But it is very, very important, you guys. And I know a lot of women listen to this, and I know as women, it's a lot harder for us to take time for ourselves. But be unapologetic about it. Like, seriously, be selfish about taking some time for yourself. Because I know you're not going to neglect your duties and what has to get done, but oftentimes we neglect ourselves in catering to everybody else. So make sure that you take a break, take a step back. If you're getting close to burnout, if you feel like, oh, I think I just need a break for this afternoon or for this week, do it. The work will always be there. It will always be there. Okay, I could go on and on about why you need to take a break, but I think you're getting the point. So take time for yourself. Don't be afraid to take a break. And I'll see you next time. Here at Legalpreneur, we're committed to providing a supportive legal community for all business owners. I know how scary the legal stuff can be. If you found this information helpful, I would be so grateful if you could share it with a fellow business owner. And quite frankly, it doesn't cost anything to rate, review, or subscribe to the show. Your support helps me reach more listeners, which allows me to support more business owners in their entrepreneurial journey. Have any questions or comments about the show? Feel free to drop me a line on Instagram. I promise I read all of the messages and comments. And if you want to be a guest on the show or know someone that would make a great guest, simply fill out our application form and a team member will reach out if we think it's a good fit. I'll see you in the next episode.